murder. Amtrak is working to restore their services after initially canceling the Empire Builder route through North Dakota and Montana. The route runs between Washington State and Chicago with 12 stops in Montana and 7 in North Dakota. The cancellation came as the rail company was mired in labor negotiations with a dozen unions ahead of a possible strike that was avoided after several hours of negotiations early this morning. Amtrak is expected to have more information on when the routes will be operational again later today. And Senator John Hoeven's announcing a $3.2 billion ag sale to Taiwan. Under the deal, Taiwan will purchase products throughout 2023 and 24, including U.S. soybeans, corn, and wheat, and some of those products coming from North Dakota themselves. Hoeven says the deal is welcome news for farmers and ranchers. The deal follows a similar trade agreement than in 2019, in which Taiwan agreed to purchase more than $3 billion in agriculture products. This is Ty Schoner to The Flag, and AM1100theflag.com. First at the news when you need to know.
With cyber warnings possible from Russia being reported, don't let your business get crippled with an attack. True IT is protecting both large corporations and small businesses with future-ready cyber plans, real-time protection, and backups that will allow your business to continue to operate while others fail. True IT offers network protection at any location. Get your technology blueprint now and see where your tech is strong or at risk. True IT Fargo, toll free at 888-243-1016 or visit trueit.com.
An appeal for unity. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. President Biden urging Americans to come together to defeat the hate he says comes out when it gets oxygen.
In the last few years, we've given much too much oxygen in our politics, in our media, and on the internet.
The president citing intelligence warnings about domestic terrorism rooted in white supremacism.
We can't remain silent. There's those who say we bring this up, we just divide the country. Bring it up, we silence it.
At a summit on hate-fueled violence, the president urging people not to be intimidated by critics of the effort. Many Republicans criticized the president's recent attacks on Trump supporters, which he says are aimed at an extreme MAGA agenda, not all Republicans. The president plans to meet tomorrow with loved ones of Brittany Griner and Paul Whelan, 2 Americans who remain jailed in Russia.
He wanted to let them know that they remain front of mind and that his team is working on this every day.
The White House spokeswoman Karine Jean-Pierre says there's no deal to announce for their release 2 months after the U.S. publicly confirmed an offer had been made to Russia. One by one, thousands of mourners pay their respects to Britain's Queen Elizabeth, filing past her coffin in Parliament's Westminster Hall.
It's going to be a good memory to remember and tell, hopefully, my kids when I'm older.
She's in a line already several miles long and still growing.
Officials are saying that the line ultimately over the weekend could stretch something like 10 miles and wait times could be up to 30 hours. But for everybody who wants to say goodbye to a queen they loved so much, the wait is worth it.
Fox's Jonathan Hunt in London. The Queen lies in state until Monday's funeral. America is listening to Fox News.
Dell Technologies' semi-annual sale has arrived, and it's time to upgrade to the latest business technology. Save big on laptops and desktops with Windows 11 Pro. Plus, get amazing deals on server, storage, and cloud solutions, as well as top work accessories, including docks, monitors, and more. Dell Technologies recommends Windows 11 Pro for business. Call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL for special business offers during our semi-annual sale.
Here's a message just for the attorneys out there. So you passed the bar, joined a firm, or even built your own. Now are you finding out that you're doing more administration than actual law practice? Lexicon can help. Lexicon is a legal technology provider with over a decade of experience streamlining administrative tasks like timekeeping, billing, and more, so you can focus on maximizing billable hours and increasing client satisfaction. Call 855-4-LEXICON or visit lexiconservices.com/go to learn more.
Mostly cloudy for this evening with wind out of the south-southwest around 10 to 20 miles per hour. We'll have a slight chance for a few scattered showers, even an isolated storm or two possible, and we'll hang on to that slight chance throughout tonight. As temperatures cool into the upper 50s, we'll have wind switching out of the north-northwest around 10 to 20. A subtle breeze exists on Friday out of the northwest. Temperatures much cooler, near 60 degrees. It will remain cloudy with another chance for showers. From the Skywatch Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Justin Storm.
Today's weather is brought to you by Summit Carbon Solutions. The ethanol industry is critical for the North Dakota economy and our farmers. Summit Carbon Solutions is opening new economic opportunities for ethanol producers and helping maintain a strong market for corn growers while generating millions of dollars in new property taxes to help local communities support our schools and hospitals. Visit summitcarbonsolutions.com to learn how this project is driving the future of agriculture in North Dakota.
Live from the PetroSurge USA studio, it's the Chris Berg Show, your daily dose of truth to help set you free.
We start with breaking news. Person that killed the Jupiter Paulson found guilty of murder, robbery, aggravated assault in her death. We're going to bring in a reporter here in just a moment, but I do want to read with you just a little bit from the Fargo Forum story about this, just to sort of create some context and remind you just how horrific this situation is. This man should have never been on the streets, and I'll explain more later. Maybe remember Jupiter was just simply skateboarding from her dad's house to her mom's house across the parking lot to Party City early in the morning. This is the tough part that I'm going to read for you. So once talking about Jupiter and this other person, I'm going to mention his name, rounded the northeast corner of Party City, Colley stabbed, kicked, strangled Jupiter in an early 30-minute assault. She's 14. 30-minute assault, according to police. This is one of the tougher parts. The 25 stab wounds, again, 14-year-old in Fargo, North Dakota, skateboarding across a parking lot, early in the morning, stabbed 25 times. Now, here's the thing. 30-minute assault, the 25 stab wounds were not fatal. The doctor said it was the strangulation that resulted in the lack of oxygen to her brain and eventually caused her death. She was declared brain dead and then passed away on June 13th. If I remember correctly, this took place, I believe, on June 4th. Ty Schoner may give us some more details on that, but point is that she was in the hospital for quite some time after being assaulted for 30 minutes, stabbed 25 times, and it was finally the lack of oxygen to her brain that had the family take her off life support. I want to share one more thing from the Forum story. Prosecutor Ryan Youngren insinuated in closing statements, and this is why are these people on the streets? When are DAs going to finally get tough? When are judges going to get tough? And it's happening all across the country. And what are we going to do about our southern border to stop these drugs from pouring into our nation? Prosecutor Ryan Youngren, again I'm quoting, insinuated in closing statements that Colley robbed and killed Jupiter to fuel a meth addiction. Colley allegedly took some of her belongings before dumping one of her bags into an apartment dumpster near Home Depot. So he's out there stabbing a young girl 25 times to fuel a meth addiction, is what was insinuated in closing statements. Somebody was at the courthouse earlier today. WDOI Flag Family reporter Ty Schoner. Ty, thanks for being here. What can you share with us, sir?
A lot of information that what you described there, and I'll go over exactly what I know so far in this. He was guilty on all charges. Now the verdict, that's the verdict. The sentencing will come later. We don't know how long he'll be in prison. Youngren asked for life in prison without parole, and that's what he's pushing for. We don't know if that's going to be the case, and we don't know how long until the sentencing will come in. But that'll take some time still. But he is guilty on all counts, which is the robbery, the murder, and the aggravated assault. Now, one of the things that Youngren described is that this is going to be, it was more of an emotional case, which I think he can summarize better himself. Hit quote number 2, guys.
There was a lot of evidence that was very strong in this case, but there's also a very difficult emotional pull in a case like this. And you also saw for the last couple of weeks us talk a lot about mental health, talk about drug use, those kinds of things.
He said there was a lot of evidence in the case against Connolly here, but really a lot of this came down to mental health discussions, addiction discussions, and basically what state of mind Connolly was in when this happened. Because you can get lighter sentencing if you convince the jury for various things, if it wasn't just directly intent to kill versus other things like that. So that was what the defense was trying to do. Now, on top of that, when it comes to what Youngren was talking about as well, I'm going to have them play quote 1, because I think he describes that everyone being involved and everyone working well together was a big reason why he got the guilty verdict and why it even happened. So go ahead and play quote 1.
It has been a long couple of weeks and, of course, a long almost year and a half to see this through at the end. We've gotten a lot of good support and cooperation from the family and, of course, the witnesses and everybody that's been involved in this.
And there was a lot of witnesses, too, from my understanding. The garbage truck driver was a big one. And I even had a chance to speak with him very briefly at the courthouse. He didn't want to talk at the scene, so I might have a conversation with him later. But when it comes to stuff like that, there was a lot of people who stepped in and who were able to give their observations. Like you said, there was the 25 stab wounds that was by the coroners, like, for example. And we can also play quote 3 real quick, because this is him talking about what he describes as the correct verdict, what Youngren describes as the correct verdict. Go right ahead.
I think this is the kind of a case where the system worked well, and everybody put a lot of hard work into it from all aspects. I have nothing but compliments for really everybody.
And when he says everybody, he also meant the defense as well. He complimented their ability as well. But he also really did just compliment everyone in the room when it came to this. The juries who had to listen to this entire conversation, the himself and the judge as well, but also kind of everyone there, just making sure that everyone who was on the stand giving their points of views and everything they had to say. He sounded like he was genuinely thankful for all of that, which sounds like standard court procedure, but it's still one of the things to hear it from his mouth as well.
Yeah, and as a prosecutor, obviously guilty on all counts. You know, he's going to say that the system worked. And I think you could say the system worked as far as the justice system to the best that you can, that we've lost a young 14-year-old girl. But let's remind everybody as well, there was a sanitation driver that drove past and didn't make any phone calls, didn't get out of the truck. And the father has alleged that if that person would have gotten out and done something sooner, his daughter still may be alive. I don't know if you followed that, and there's a lot to follow in this story. I don't know if you followed that part of the story, but if you have, it's
a very complicated part of the story, and I'm not as well read as I'm not going to comment on that specific part, but you can continue if you'd like.
Thank you. I want to give you a chance, because one of the things we always want to do is we want to respect ties in news, okay? And so he's got to keep it straight down the middle. I do not want to tie him in any way, shape, or form into some of the more opinion stuff that I do, so that you can see there's a very delineated line between he and I. So I want to give you the last word, and then I'll go on and talk about some other things.
The sentencing will come eventually. There's been some talk that might even come in 2023. So it's going to take some time before we learn how long Connolly will be in prison. But it's still going to take some time. We don't exactly know how long he's going to be in jail yet, but it looks like he's going to be put away.
But there's no bail. There's no chance of him getting out between now and sentencing.
From my understanding, there's no chance.
Okay. Thank you, Ty. Appreciate the update very, very much. Again, Ty Schoner, WDY Flag Family reporter here. And it's really important, that last piece that he brought up and the question that I asked him, because this person, again, I don't even want to bring his name up, should have never been on the streets. Should have never been on the streets. We will find out. I am presuming that this person is going to stay behind bars until sentencing. If something changes in that, super producer Chris Larson, please let us know if you find anything out there, or we will obviously keep you abreast of that. Here's what you need to know, and we've seen this now across the country about crime rates going up, DAs being easy on people. I'm sure if you watch Fox News, you've seen story upon story upon story where people shooting people, stabbing people, robbing people, and they basically get out clean the next day, and they know it. And I'm not saying that's the situation here. This person knew he was going to walk. And I think it's important for you to just know a little bit of this guy's rap sheet. You heard Ty talk about they were Prosecutor Younger and talked about drug abuse, mental health issues. Okay, this person was not a go-lucky guy. He had anger issues. 2017, he was involved in an assault case. He was hitting a corrections officer in the face. So that's 2017, hits a corrections officer in the face. So if it's a corrections officer, where was he? He was already in the justice system. So that's 2017. There's more to the rap sheet here that took place with other things that he was convicted of, was supposed to spend time doing. But I want to get to some of the more recent items just so you can understand that this guy should have never been on the street. And because he got access to drugs. Defense tried to suggest that he had some sort of drug-induced psychotic episode that had this take place. Doesn't matter. We lost a 14-year-old girl in Fargo, North Dakota, skateboarding across a parking lot. On May 7th of 2021, Cawley was sentenced to 2 years behind bars with all but 27 days stayed. He was given credit for having served 27 days. He was ordered to obtain a diagnostic assessment within 60 days of being released to follow all recommendations. Then he was placed on supervised probation for 18 months. So that's back in May 7th of 2021. In April 26th, Cawley was sentenced 30 days in jail because of something he did back in January of 2021. So it was January of 2021. He had an incident, refused to leave a particular store, was sentenced to 30 days in jail, 25 days suspended. Then back in May, he was also again sentenced to 2 years behind bars. So there's January, there's May, and then on June 1st, just days before Paulson was stabbed, this is according to an informed story, following a fight at a bar in downtown Fargo, according to court records, Cawley was walking away from the scene of a fight when officers arrived. He ran away from the officers. So then Cawley was arrested, pleaded guilty to a charge of resisting officers. A conviction was deferred for 11 months on the condition he satisfactorily complete 11 months of unsupervised probation and pay $400 in fines. So there's a rap sheet that I could go on and on and on. You and I need to have a very honest conversation about what is happening, that we are letting people like this person out on the streets, knowing the rap sheet that this person has, knowing the drug addiction that this person has, knowing the anger issues, because he wrote the judge. I've got several opportunities here I could share with you where he literally wrote the judge about his anger issues, trying to tell the judge, hey, I've turned my life around. I'm expecting a son. I'm a new person. But then again, January, May, June, who's he coming in contact with? The cops. And because of, I don't know, I'm not an attorney, but either light sentencing or thinking, hey, well, this guy can walk around, he can get rehabilitated, go through probation, whatever. Again, I'm not an attorney. I don't know all the TikTok of the system. All I know is that when a person's got these kind of issues, he shouldn't be out walking around. Goes out, gets high on meth, has some episode, sees a young person skateboarding across a parking lot and thinks, hey, I can go assault her, get some money, and feed my addiction. Stabs her 25 times. And that according to the doctors, that's not even what killed her. 30 minutes. You're 14 and you get assaulted for 30 minutes. Thank you to the sanitation driver that did get out of his truck and attempted to put a stop to this. All right. Obviously, we'd love to know your point of view. If you want to email the show, very easy to do. It's studio@chrisbergshow.com. Again, studio@chrisbergshow.com. When we come back, they're trying to make some changes to the Fargo Cast Public Health Board. We're going to have a special guest that's going to talk about that and much more coming up right after this.
Your farm and business depends on a reliable source for energy. PetroServe USA is the customer-owned co-op committed to being a stable source of fuel for your equipment and propane to dry your grain. We have the capacity to make sure you never run out of fuel and to keep prices stable. Dependability, competitive prices, and exemplary service. That's PetroServe USA, helping America fuel better.
PetroServe USA.
Call today.
Call 702 Communications today at 218-284-5702. And our managed service team will help you find a technology solution that fits your needs and puts your mind at ease. For a limited time, call 702 Communications today at 218-284-5702 or go to 702com.com and get your first month of managed services free with promo code THEFLAG.
Don't start harvest off with sore feet. Stop in and purchase a pair of Red Wing boots. Hi, Teresa here from the Fargo Red Wing Shoe Store. If you're planning on coming to Fargo for Big Iron, make sure to put Red Wing shoes and custom insoles on the top of your list. Nothing's worse than sore feet during harvest. Stop in and check out our vast selection of styles and colors. You'll be surprised. 3003 Main Avenue in Fargo. Red Wing shoes for ultimate durability.
Did you know that periodontal disease is the #1 health problem in small animal patients? Hello, I'm Dr. Calderwood, a veterinary dental practitioner at Prairie Winds Veterinary Center. By 2 years of age, 80% of dogs and 70% of cats have some form of periodontal disease. If you notice a change in your pet's playful habits, breath, or facial swelling, there's a chance that your pet is suffering from mouth pain. Prairie Winds Veterinary Center can help. Call us at 701-356-5600 or learn more at prairiewindsvet.com.
It's the first unlimited full-service and exterior works wash club at Don's Car Washes. You can have the best of both worlds with unlimited interior and exterior washes at the Don's on 13th Avenue and unlimited exterior washes at the Don's on 52nd Avenue. Truly unlimited washes for only $49.99 per month. Join Don's Unlimited Wash Club. Exterior unlimited washes starting as low as $19.99 per month. It's never been easier to put a smile on your car at Don's Car Washes.
Hey, it's Scott Hannon from Flag Family Media. As most of you know, we've recently expanded our facility to welcome WDAY to our location on Thunder Road. For that showcase corner studio, we were in search of the perfect desk for our WDAY talent. We met with the designers at Grain Designs and a beautiful studio came to life. The attention to detail, incredible. They pride themselves in creating furniture both your customers and employees will love. You dream it, they build it. Commercial office desks, conference tables, and more. Start the process today at graindesigns.com. Graindesigns.com.
Welcome back to the Chris Berg Show, your daily dose of truth to help set you free. Again, our thoughts and prayers go out to Jupiter and her family. I guess, some justice that you can say has been had simply because of the fact that he was found guilty on all charges. But again, of course, it's never going to replace Jupiter. All right, we are getting our guest, Charlene Nelson, on the phone. So, guys, if you can let me know as soon as she's ready to go here on the phone, that would be fantastic. So, again, I just really want to kick this off by saying thank you. Myself, super producer Chris Larson, cannot thank you enough for all of you that are constantly reaching out to us and saying, hey, guys, can you look into this? Can you just check this out? Sometimes, things we find and you'd start digging and you're like, whoa, there's something here. Sometimes maybe not so much, but it's our job to help us help you. As we always say, guys, can we get Charlene on the phone, please, and get this thing wired in? So as you continue to reach out to us, that would be fantastic. We always appreciate it. You can email us studio@chrisbergshow.com. Again, studio@chrisbergshow.com. You can always even just call in 701-271-1100. We've got our tip line. So there's multiple ways that you can share different stories with us. So currently the situation is this, is that right now Fargo Cass Public Health is looking to make some changes to their bylaws. And so you're going to hear from Charlene in just a moment about some of the things that she is seeing going on. some of the changes that are being proposed, thought about, and so we'll see what she has to say. So, Chris, what's the update on Charlene joining us? Okay. That doesn't really help us. So, here's what we're going to do then. We are going to lighten it up a little bit. It's been a heavy start to the show, which, by the way, when we come back from break, we've got a really, really interesting and special guest to join us from the Williston Economic Development Update. So, Kevin Flynn put this together for you. I'm going to put a smile on your face, and then we'll come back. Hopefully, have Charlene in studio, and then take you out to Williston as well.
Just yesterday morning, they said my savings were gone. Looks like the plan will put an end to me.
0%, zero inflation last month.
I filled up this morning, and I thought it was wrong.
Why do gas prices keep going up so
I
high?
just can't afford it anymore, you see. I'm just tired and I'm in pain. I'm seeing cloudy days that I hope will soon end. I'm seeing crazy times where I cannot spare a cent. But at least I know where my 401k went.
I don't know how that happens.
And you look down upon me, Biden. You gotta help me with this plan. Could you explain it to me one more time?
With, I don't know.
My head is shaking and my budget won't bend. I don't think I'll make it through another day. I'm gonna be walking. I'm just tired and I'm in pain. I'm seeing these cloudy days that I hope will soon end. I'm seeing crazy times where I cannot spare a cent. But at least I know where my IRA went.
So there's Kevin Flynn using some creativity. If you're not aware, James Taylor was at the White House this week. He was there to celebrate the Inflation Reduction Act. If you may not remember, that's exactly why Kevin put that together. So always nice to have Kevin use some of his satire, if you will, to just sort of lighten the mood. Kevin Flynn, the one and only from the Need to Know Morning Show. Believe it or not, he actually's got an interview with Candace Owens this afternoon. So hopefully we'll have a chance to play some of that for you maybe tomorrow on the show. And she's going to be in Bismarck tonight. All right, joining us in studio here, we've got Charlene Nelson. She's part of the Fargo Cast Public Health. You say there's some changes coming, Charlene, so tell us what's happening.
Yeah, in the August 19th board meeting.
Pull the mic down a little bit, please.
Yeah. August 19th board meeting, they introduced some changes to the bylaws. And most of them were kind of pretty minor, just little bookkeeping kind of stuff. But there were a couple changes that I thought were kind of notable and that I think people should be aware of. And the biggest one is that it changes the composition of the board from 9 members to 7, which may or may not be a bad thing. 9 is a lot for a board. But then what it does is there's 2 representatives, one from the City of Fargo Commission and one from the Cass County Commission. And then the other 5 members will be healthcare professionals, at least one behavioral health professional, and then others who have extensive knowledge in public health or in the healthcare industry. What that means is there will be no more representation for West Fargo, for rural Cass County, for the business community, from the school boards. All these other entities that currently make up the board will no longer be part of the board. It'll be these 5 people that are appointed.
So there'll be no election really, except for obviously the two commissioners.
Right. But currently all the positions are appointed anyway. That part isn't new. The one of the big questions I think about it is who does the appointing? Right now, as I'm the rural representative for rural Cass County, and I was appointed by the Cass County Commission. Who will be doing the appointing now? It doesn't say in the bylaws. I'm going to guess that it will be the Fargo City Commission, since they already appoint the bulk of the members to that board. I'm just going to guess that they'll appoint all 5 to the board.
So do they give you the objective of why they're making the change now, or what's going on?
There wasn't any discussion as to why. They said what they had done is they had researched bylaws in other communities around the state and around the region, and they patterned these bylaws after what they saw in these other communities. As someone who tries to speak for those who live in rural Cass County, I'm not certain that the rural voice will be heard if everything is in the hands of healthcare professionals and those associated with the healthcare industry.
So I hear you insinuating that maybe I don't want to, sinister might be too strong, but you think that there's something not necessarily right going on here?
No, I don't. I'm not going to ascribe any motivation to anyone. I have no idea what motivated this particular change. But I will say, right now, all governance issues regarding Fargo Cass Public Health are in the hands of the Fargo City Commission. The board that I belong to merely acts as an advisory board. We merely advise and encourage and promote public health, but we have no governance power. We can't say anything about the budget, the policies, the programs, the priorities. None of those are in the board's hands. All of that rests in the hands of the city of Fargo. If someone who lives outside of Fargo utilizes any of the public health services that Fargo Cass Public Health offers, then Fargo bills Cass County. So Cass County is basically like a client of Fargo, and we're still calling it Fargo Cass Public Health, and yet all governance is in the hands of the city of Fargo. I wonder, since Fargo is kind of like the 500-pound gorilla in Cass County, I wonder if it wasn't merely perhaps short-sightedness, perhaps just not being aware, of concerns that are outside of those boundaries of Fargo. I can't say what the motivation is. All I can say is those who see these rule changes, may want to take note and discuss with their representatives if this is something that benefits them.
Very well said. Very well said. That's why we wanted to have her in, just to say, hey, some changes are possibly coming. It's important that you are aware of them. When we come back, more cities taking crypto for utility bills? I don't know. We'll talk about that when we come back.
Mostly cloudy for this evening with wind out of the south-southwest around 10 to 20 miles per hour. We'll have a slight chance for a few scattered showers, even an isolated storm or two possible, and we'll hang on to that slight chance throughout tonight. As temperatures cool into the upper 50s, we'll have wind switching out of the north-northwest around 10 to 20. A subtle breeze exists on Friday out of the northwest. Temperatures much cooler, near 60 degrees. It will remain cloudy with another chance for showers. From the Skywatch Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Justin Storm.
Need an escape? No, not a vacation. An escape from your basement. Here at Precision Concrete Cutters, we specialize in egress window installation and replacement. So not only do we provide you an escape from your basement, but we provide sunlight into that dark, dreary space to make you feel like you're on vacation. Okay, maybe not, but you will relax knowing that you do have a safe way out.
For more information on egress windows, go to pccnd.com. That's pccnd.com.
The fertile soil and wide open skies make our corner of Minnesota unique. But our people make it truly special. We're hardworking folks doing our best to raise a family, grow a business, or support our community. And Dan Bomer is one of us. He's a lifelong resident of the Red River Valley, a career veteran of the Army and National Guard, and 2 of his sons have served in uniform. Dan understands skyrocketing costs are hurting us. Whether buying groceries, gas, or school supplies, we're feeling the squeeze of soaring prices. Dan Bomer will stand up to the liberal metro politicians and fight to beat rising costs. By holding government accountable, cutting taxes, and growing our local economy, Dan Bomer is one of us. That's why Dan Bomer is fighting for our families. Learn more at stateofgreatmn.org. Prepared and paid for by the Coalition of Minnesota Businesses.
Hurry into Menards to save big money with 11% off everything. Add style and security with Schlag lock sets. Coordinate the look of your home's decor with complementing finishes and styles. Menards carries over 50 styles of interior and exterior lock sets. Right now, all Schlag lock sets are 11% off. Good through September 18th. Savings are mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
The reviews are in. My coffee is a big hit. People absolutely love it. One of our listeners said, Scott, I've sampled a lot of coffee, but this one's different. It's rich, but also very smooth, low acidity. The finish is clean, and it has a pleasant aftertaste. Try some for yourself today. Go to mystore.com. Use the promo code Scott for up to 25% off. Your choices include whole bean, ground, coffee pods, light roast, medium roast, dark roast, and a decaf. Again, in coffee pods, ground, or whole bean, your choice. And guess what? It's roasted and packed right here in the USA. It's guaranteed, like all the products at MyPillow. Mike Lindell invites you to try his new product, My Coffee, by going to mystore.com. Mystore.com. Use the promo code Scott or call this number, 800-506-9028. 800-506-9028 or mystore.com, promo code Scott for the best coffee you've ever had, bar none.
I'm John Hoeven, candidate for the U.S. Senate, and I approve this message. As senator, I work every day helping North Dakota's small businesses, building our energy industry, supporting farmers and ranchers. I've pushed back on vaccine mandates, taxes, spending, and over-regulation by the Biden administration that is taking our state in the wrong direction.
John Hoeven's commitment is to North Dakota and to fighting for you. John Hoeven works for North Dakota.
Paid for by Hoeven for Senate.
Welcome back to the Chris Berg Show, your daily dose of truth to help set you free. One of the things we often talk about here on the show is decentralized finance, crypto. So today for our Williston Economic Development Update, we've got their finance director, love this name, Hercules. Hercules Cummings is joining us, and he has really been driving innovation in the city of Williston when it comes to crypto, Web3, metaverse, things of that nature. So we're going to find out from him how Williston is leading the way, the wonderful city of Williston. Hercules, welcome to the show. It's great to see you.
Thank you, Chris, for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
So I want to hear about, I know one of the things we've shared before, even with Sean, is the fact that in Williston, I don't know if there's any other city in North Dakota you can do this, but you can actually pay your utility bill with crypto. What made you say, hey, this is a great idea? How many people are doing it? How does it work?
Yeah, thanks for the question. So really the cryptocurrency came secondary. I think initially, when I assumed the finance role, we got the team together and said, hey, what can we do to open up, fully open up all the payment corridors and allow our customers to take advantage of each payment corridor. Some of the changes that we implemented was paying your utility bills by Google Pay, Apple Pay, pay by text. It also occurred to us to say, hey, the writing's on the wall. The future of finance is ultimately going to change, and we need to seize the opportunity and get ahead of the curve. And I'm referring to cryptocurrency. So we reached out to BitPay. They're pretty much the leaders of the merchant service provider when it comes to cryptocurrency. And we asked them, hey, could we set up, and provide the ability to pay utility bills, your water and your sewer, and provide that to the citizens and allow cryptocurrency to be used to make these payments? It was a great conversation. We were, I admit we're not the first government entity. We're actually the third, but first in the state. Well, they said we already have two existing ones, so it's a easy bridge to walk across. And so we went down that road. We tested it. We ensured that we piloted all the way from the beginning to the end, make sure that it's settled before we release it to the public. I was very successful. And again, it all comes back to just taking advantage of these technological initiatives that are in front of us, and also that it is going to be ahead of us and here to stay. So instead of it being industry laggers, we took it upon ourselves to be industry leaders, because we know that finance is ultimately going to lead there.
See, I love that a lot of things you're saying is, hey, we are not going to be laggards. We're going to be leaders. It's the city of Williston, third city in the nation that's allowing you to pay utility bills with crypto, which is absolutely, I think, just fantastic and incredible. But the one thing I do want you to share with people, because you're a finance director, this is your life. This is what you eat, sleep, and breathe. As you, a couple times there in your comments, said, hey, Chris, we know that the financial landscape is changing. This is where it's going. Why do you say that with such certainty?
Well, I think a lot of governments and banks, and also from a global perspective, they're really heavily contemplating on this. It's no longer just a buzzword. They're incorporating it right now. Blockchain has been proven. There's a lot of applications for it. So blockchain is proven to stay. One of the things that central banks are looking at right now from a global scale is looking at the issuance of central bank digital currency. Also, the White House, they authorized to go ahead and proceed with some of the studies and how blockchain really affects us from a retail bank and commercial bank perspective. They're also not just thinking about it, they're utilizing blockchain to a certain degree. But I think the writings are on the wall, from a central bank perspective, from a commercial bank, and also the retail industry are slowly adopting blockchain one shape or form or another. I think CBDCs are going to be the next, rollout. I think that's, in my opinion, 10 years from now, I think there's going to be some kind of central issuance, and it's going to be the next legal tender. And so I think the race is on. A lot of countries are looking at it and what it means for them. So, yeah, I think it's no longer just a buzzword. It's now, if you look at, the demographics right now, they're now incorporating more into their investments, and a lot of big name banks are also making the means to provide this kind of digital asset as part of their portfolio.
Hercules Cummings, he's the finance director for the wonderful city of Williston. It's our Williston Economic Development Updates. We're just talking about some of the innovative things that they're doing in Williston that may actually transfer to the rest of the state. I mean, if you followed what Miami's doing, Miami's got their own actual coin, their own token. They've raised probably about $20 million in revenue with that. So I'm curious from your perspective, Hercules, because you and I chatted earlier today about some of the metaverse things or even Web3. Like, what are some other areas? Maybe it's blockchain. What are some other areas that you see the city of Williston can utilize some of this quote unquote new tech to add value to your quote unquote customers, citizens of Williston? Where do you see things going?
Yeah, so we pivoted off the ability to accept, or to have cryptocurrency make payments, but we don't actually hold cryptocurrency. Our partner BitPay, they're the custodians because it's not a recognized asset. So it's just they use their sole propriety information or technology to make the one-to-one conversion. So I just want to make sure we don't actually hold the cryptocurrency, so we don't expose the public at risk. We see it just converted in USD. But from there, we also partnered up with another company called CoinCloud, which we are the actual first government-hosted digital currency machine, DCM, also recognized as crypto ATM. So we have that position in our airport terminal. That was another option we provided for those that are savvy in crypto and wish to, make withdrawal and connect their digital wallet and have, having cash dispense. And we're also heavily not just contemplating, but we've been ahead of the discussions. We're exploring converting some of the methane gas at the landfill and seeing if we can harness that vented methane gas and redirect it to some of the gas power generators to then energize the mining units, which would then help us monetize in the form of maybe Bitcoin or Raven or other cryptocurrencies. So right now, we're ahead of the discussions. More to follow and to be determined, because we need to look at, have legal involved and also run the economics and the feasibility studies if this makes sense to do this. And it's always the public's interest to know how taxpayers, how taxes are being used, and when we're going to get returns and payback periods. So we're looking at that, and I think we can make a decision sometime next year. What has been done so far is we outsource an engineering firm. Sorry, can you hear me, Chris?
Yeah. I just want to make sure I'm hearing you right. So the easy way that I would translate what you just said is basically you're going to turn the methane from trash into cash. Is that what you're saying?
That's a good way of putting it. I don't think I've ever heard it that way. Yes, we're going to take the free or the methane that's vented and monetize that through mining, possibly. So we're a lot of things still yet to explore, and it's already done on a wider scale. In the midstream operations, like Exxon and Chevron are already doing that. We're trying to see if we could use that existing technology and park it home in a municipal-owned landfill.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, Exxon and those guys might be doing it from methane, just from the other industries that they're doing, but they're not taking it from landfills, are they?
No, I haven't heard of any entities, government entities doing that. So, we're having these discussions with the right stakeholders and engineers, and we could see that as early as next year or the year after.
Hercules, that is incredible.
Yeah.
Hercules go ahead.
Yeah, no, and I get that the fourth point that we were discussing was, Web 3.0, also known, as the metaverse, which is just an all-encompassing term for virtual reality and augmented reality. So we're also having a dialogue with some leading metaverse companies as well, and to see how government can play a role in that, actively play a role and provide this immersive or an extension of our world, and see what other applications government can take advantage of and offer that to the public.
I'm so glad we had you on. Hercules Cummins, Finance Director for the wonderful city of Williston. It's our Williston Economic Development Update. If you want to find out more, go to willistondevelopment.com. Again, willistondevelopment.com. Hercules, great stuff. Please keep in touch as you get closer and closer to turning trash into cash. You need to let me know, okay?
I sure will. And Chris, thank you again. Yeah, please stay tuned as well. We'll update you on the developments next year.
Thank you very, very much. I appreciate it. If you're just joining us, so Hercules was just mentioning that they're looking to take the landfill in Williston and take the methane gas from the landfill, essentially the trash, right? And they want to potentially use that methane to then power crypto miners, which then obviously could be converted into USDs and or cash. Thus, the term turning your trash into cash. Incredible. All right, when we come back, super producer Chris Larson has been working with a mama bear to bring you some news about some of these all ages drag shows. We're going to give you an update, the latest on that. There's one scheduled up in Grand Forks. We'll tell you where and when, coming up right after this.
Have you ever thought about selling your home but quickly talk yourself out of it when you consider all the repairs, cleaning, inspections, open houses, and the unknown of what price your home will actually sell at? Stop stressing. We will buy your home as is with no appraisals or costly commissions to worry about. You can even pick your closing date. Call me, John Masala with JK Property Partners at 701-306-3229 or go to fargohomevalues.com for an instant valuation.
Paul Harvey so passionately declared, God said, I need somebody willing to ride the ruts at double speed to get the hay in ahead of the rain clouds, and yet stop in midfield and race to help when he sees the first smoke from a neighbor's place. So God made a farmer.
This is Aaron Wimmer. Wimmer's Diamonds welcomes all those attending Big Iron 2022 and extends a huge thank you to our area farmers. Stop by the AM 1100 The Flag booth at Big Iron and pick up a special Wimmer's Diamonds discount certificate. Wimmer's, 4582 32nd Avenue South in Fargo.
Hey, it's Kev from the Need to Know Morning Show with my Bottle Barn beverage of the week. It's from Kentucky. It's the #1 most awarded flavored whiskey on the market from Bird Dog. It's their honey flavored whiskey, and it is delicious. Little maple, peanut butter, some salted caramel, a little jalapeno honey, and some other magic ingredients. I'll tell you what, this goes really good with coffee. And available at both Bottle Barn locations, South University Drive and Veterans Boulevard in 32nd in West Fargo, where they've got the beautiful humidor. Like the page if you're on Facebook, online at BottleBarnLiquors.com, and make Bottle Barn your last stop on the way to any occasion.
Now lawn mowing can be done at the touch of your fingertips with the Husqvarna robotic mower from Midwest Automowers. Our automatic mowers are equipped with theft tracking, GPS-assisted navigation, and automatic recharge with exclusive all-wheel drive technology. The Midwest Automowers automatic mower can tackle the toughest terrains and steepest of slopes, guaranteeing the perfect lawn 24/7. Spend more time doing the things you love. Contact your Midwest Automower dealer today. MidwestAutomowers.com. That's MidwestAutomowers.com.
The future of your farm depends on the systems you use today. Invest in your future with Brock Solid Grain Dryers from Gateway Building Systems. Gateway's Brock Grain Drying Systems use cutting-edge technology while remaining gentle on your grain. And they are built to last, so you can have a successful season. At Gateway, they offer systems and solutions to help you save labor and speed up your system. Visit them online at gatewaybuilding.com or give them a call today at any of their 3 locations.
Business owners, you know how important a high-quality website is for the success of your business, but how well is your current site performing? This is Jake from OnSharp, and I want to let you know about a new tool we created that will instantly scan your website and give you insight into your site's speed, security, and SEO. Run your company's free scan today at scan.onsharp.com, and you'll get a grade in each area, as well as actionable steps you can take to make your site faster, safer, and more effective. Again, that's scan.onsharp.com.
Welcome back to the Chris Berg Show. Thanks so much for joining us here on what I call a Friday Eve. I want to remind you tomorrow it is our Feel Good Friday. Thanks to Giving Hearts Day and Dakota Medical Foundation. We'll have a very special guest on our Feel Good Friday segment tomorrow. Speaking about feeling good, sometimes easier said than done. So if you're maybe going through some depression, anxiety, a lot of people I know just not sleeping great, they're just not feeling right. Maybe it's even long COVID. Kind of got that brain fog and you're like, man, I just do not process information like I normally do. And if that's you, I want to encourage you to go and get a free consultation at Siriset of Fargo. And what's great is you basically take a nap. I mean, you lay down for about 60 minutes. It's not intrusive. They put these sounds in your ears, and it's very easy to do, but it could be a great way to restore your sleep and your health. The number there is 701-566-5231. Again, 701-566-5231. It's a free consultation. It is Siriset of Fargo. So we were just talking about the methane from landfills. We got an interesting text here that came in and said, hey, City of Fargo landfill methane has been piped over to the Cargill plant in West Fargo for 10 plus years. I did not know that. So thank you, Lance. He says he believes it's piped over there to help with drying. I'm assuming the different crops that are over there, but I don't know. But I think that's fascinating that there's places already doing it. Williston maybe using it to you turning your trash into cash. I love that. All right. There's been a lot of conversations as of late, and we'll probably continue this tomorrow. But in regards to these all ages drag shows, that there was one recently at the Elks here in Fargo. And then I just had somebody hit me up today. This Saturday already, super producer Chris Larson, this Saturday, they're having, and this is what's interesting, they're dubbing it as this children's story hour, right? You've seen this all over the country now where they do these children's story hours. This one's going to be at the Grand Forks Public Library. And Chris, I don't know if you were going to read this. Do you mind if I read this, or were you going to read this about what's going on there?
No, you can read it. But the funny thing is it's hosted by the Grand Forks Public Library at a coffee house on the UND campus.
Oh, my, thank you very much for correcting me. So, thank you. It's hosted by the Grand Forks Public Library at a coffee house on the UND campus. And here's how they're promoting. Hey, an opportunity for your kiddos to listen, learn, sing, and have fun. This Saturday, special Pride Story Hour hosted by the Grand Forks Library and a few local drag queens and kings. Enjoy a cup of coffee while your little ones hear stories, thanks to the Grand Forks Public Library. So there was the one at the Elks recently. I've also got a post up on our Facebook page. Chris, if we have time, I'll get to that. But I know that you've been working with one of our mama bears to share more about what took place at the Elks and these all ages drag shows. The floor is yours, my friend.
Yeah, we've had a lot of parents reach out to us, Chris, and I've been visiting with one of those mama bears. The concern is that these drag shows are pushing sexual perversion on our children's, including those that attended that all ages drag show. This parent that we talked to told me that she feels the innocent dances, and I put innocent in air quotes, are on purpose to get everyone on their side, and then they throw the bombs in there for the shock and awe of the situation. Now, this group of parents, they're not haters. They don't have a problem with adult drag shows for adults. For adults, not for kids. The purpose of holding an all ages drag show is not about accepting everyone for who they are. Their purpose is to groom. The parent that I spoke with said the dancing and speaking that was recorded on Saturday night is the acceptance card to groom children. Now, it's very interesting to note, Chris, that the LGBTQ plus community doesn't support nor endorse using their community as a front to push these drag shows and their grooming agenda. Now, like you said just a moment ago, Chris, we learned just earlier that a children's story hour is going to be held at a coffee shop in Grand Forks. That is just absolutely mind-blowing that we're even allowing that to happen in our community.
Well, I think what's fascinating is just, everybody's confused right now. We've talked about this here on the show about being part of the Truman Show, the greatest psychological operation in the history of mankind. And then you transfer that on to little ones that are just trying to figure out, what am I doing here? What's going on? It just creates more and more confusion. And sometimes people say, I don't know. I mean, kids are kids, but I'll give you a prime example of a friend of mine sent this to me via text. And I think it shares with you just how malleable their brains are. Of course, we all know that, but then you start to induce this idea of, hey, if I feel this way, then I'm this. If I feel this way, then I'm that. And so here's the text I got. It says a friend of mine's a paraprofessional that works with fifth graders. Last week, she had a girl come up to her and say, "Call mom. I think I'm a transgender." And the paraprofessional's like, wait, what? Like, what makes you think that? And the girl says this, and I'm quoting, "Well, I like to pick my nose and eat boogers, and only boys do that. So I think I'm transgender." And this person goes on to say in the text, it's just a sad world when a young person believes like that's the criteria. But I think it shows how powerful these messages are that are being sent out. And this is why we talk about we've said it earlier this week, you've got to guard your mind right now. There's just so much, I'll put it this way, unrighteous stuff out there that you've got to guard your mind, which I believe is why in church on Sunday, the Lord said to me, "Hey, Chris, you need to walk in the law of kindness. So be kind, but may your lips be filled with righteousness." If all of us can go out there and speak more righteousness into this world right now, I think that is going to be a very, very good thing. We reap what we sow.